How you doing, folks? Leo Naranjo here, candidate for governor 2026, in the Sheraton Hotel nighttime. Well, you can't see it really good out there, but it's nighttime. So, we're up here chilling out, about ready to retire to the room for tomorrow's big vote. Today's the 11th of April, and guess what? According to the news reports, Mr. Swalwell has suspended his collection of campaign money. Oh, gee, that's about 1 or 2 steps away from renouncing his campaign. I find that to be very interesting. But I also find it to be very interesting that he's being crucified by word-of-mouth contacts. What do I mean by that? Leo, Eric Swalwell is a cheap, dirty, low-down... I mean, listen to the evidence. Listen to the accusations. If he's that bad, slap the cuffs on his ass. Put him in handcuffs with charges. That's how you take care of that problem. His campaign would end at that point. We don't need to go through all this melodramatic drama that what we're watching, because you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. Everybody's cheering for the moment of Eric Swalwell's downfall on the internet. I'm not defending the man, I'm defending the process. Innocent until proven guilty, no matter how vile the charge. Seem to be remiss about that. We only do that standard to certain individuals. We only adhere to that in certain moments. Is that really what we want to do, America? Start charging people based on hearsay, on commentaries? Most amazing, we have these women coming out talking about how bad Eric Swalwell is. Oh, that's horrible. Oh, yeah, it's really bad. We got proof, we got videos, we have this, we have that. Drag him in a court of law. Charge him for the crimes. I'm all for that. Charge him for the crimes. Arrest his ass. Put the end to his campaign that way, and then run him through the court systems with everything you have and prove innocence or guilt, if your case is that solid. But this stuff that you're seeing online should be it should make you leery and make you question what's going on. Well, Eric Swalwell is a dirtbag, and these women have come forth. How many mass murderers have we had in our country? They still had a defense. They still went to trial. They were innocent until proven guilty too. There's a concept up here right now for those of you that are die-hard hang Eric Swalwell because we got it all over the internet. We've said so. Nancy Pelosi came out. A lot of evidence, but no trial, no proof. Ventura County, the DA down there. You have a case of an 18-year-old girl from North Carolina, of all places, North Kakalaki. Whoo, home of the 82nd Airborne. She flew out here to be with her biological father. From North Carolina to California, she came here to California to be with her biological father. Within 2 weeks, or within weeks, got brutally raped by the same man. Uncle had to take her down to the hospital. Did all the kits, did all the investigations, did all the swabs and everything else. Proved without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah, it was his DNA. He's out on $500,000 bail. And the DA? Well, the 18-year-old suffering through all that committed suicide, it seems. Offed herself. What is the DA of Ventura County now saying? I can't make a case because the victim is dead. And I scratch my head and I'm like, what kind of a moron are you? And why are you even still in office to think like that? We have cases that are proven beyond a shadow of a doubt without bodies on murder trials. Have you seen them on TV? Dateline sure as hell has put them up there. You have cases where the main victim died. Just saw one a couple of weeks ago on Dateline or Nightline. Woman left a note. If I die unexpectedly, here's the person to review and look at. Turned out it was her husband. But yet this man, with all the evidence he has, can't prove a case on how this 18-year-old was raped and then killed herself. Same situation here with Swalwell, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. I could care less about that. All these people right now in the convention, they're down there playing Hilton and Bianco Hilton games. Free, everybody can come in, do what you're going to do. Can't move from one side to another. It's an interesting atmosphere here. People have already picked their sides. This isn't a convention of equalness. This is a convention of half Hilton, half Bianco. It's almost like a government forum for them only. This was not a convention for Republicans. This is a convention for those two. And now they're here. And they're getting ready to do the vote. No, by the way, don't forget, Donald Trump endorsed Steve Hilton. You go on X right now, Hilton's reminding you of that point. Interesting, isn't it? People. Yeah, I don't think he knows I'm here. Did the military about face? Not really good. Okay, he's gone. Hilton's letting everybody know online he's been endorsed by Donald Trump. You're rubbing it into people's faces now. Rumors were abounding earlier today, if not yesterday. There's a new slate on the market. It's called the Chad Bianco, David Collenberg, David Serpa ticket. Oh my God, here comes some more people. Let's see what they do.
I still might be Bianco. Just now, yeah. It's a little tame, but like in a good way. Yeah. Enjoy, we'll see you guys around.
Hey. Don't forget that. Steve Hilton was endorsed by Donald Trump. Steve's plastering that on the internet right now. Don't forget, I was endorsed by Donald Trump. Tomorrow's the big vote, ladies and gentlemen. Amy of San Diego, she's here. She's up there posting already. No matter what, it's Steve Hilton all the way. But don't forget, there's a difference between a surrogate supporter and a shrill. What I call shrill. You guys call them influencers. They're not influencers. They make noise online based on news reports they regurgitate like anybody else. Then they ask you to make an opinion. That causes clicks. That's all it's about. So Amy of San Diego is here. She's all about Hilton. Ooh-rah. She's not a supporter. She's a shrill. Rumors are a lot of these influences online are getting bought and paid for by the Hilton campaign. Those are propagandists, not influencers. Then do they really influence you? Whatever. A young lady today told me in order to run for governor, you have to be able to handle a $250 billion budget. Steve handled any budgets? No. My wife even clocked that one out. But that's okay, because she was a consultant. She's running and helping 3 different campaigns, so she doesn't really have an opinion unless it's bought and paid for by somebody to have an opinion, in my opinion. That's how that works. So everybody's enjoying the moment downstairs. Couple of hours, going to be the Hilton Bianco Hilton thing. They just had a party boat float around here with Corinne Rankin. Ooh. Seems she's not very forthcoming as a boss. She ignored a candidate down here for congressional district. Didn't like the gentleman, I guess. Will. You don't have to like them. You just got to be professional and get past it. Didn't do that. Had a no-party candidate here, Miss Elaine Collotti. That was interesting. How are you doing, Leo? I'm doing just fine, ma'am. Who's your friend? Not the people who backstab me. Yeah, I don't play nice in the sandbox with two-faced people. Met Leo Zacky's former boss, not his boss, his former manager here today. That was interesting. Leo Zacky is not here. Now there's a lot of optics that you could play off of this, and I'm sure if Zacky gets a hold of this video, he'll come up with some excuse one way or the other. But this is my optic. They're getting ready to take a vote to endorse, and you're sitting on 104 votes. Even though you don't have a speaking engagement, you're influential in vote getting. You could have moved the goalpost a couple of feet one way or the other. And instead, you chose to ignore this convention. Well, I hope it's not over money, Leo. I mean, after all, you said you had $3 million in the bank that you're sitting on, unless you've spent it all or are spending it. You could have had other speaking engagements. I hope that was true. Could have had a family emergency. I hope that was true if one of those two excuses comes up. Because the one that it looks like is you refused to come here because you weren't going to be allowed to speak, so why bother? You kind of ignored the process. That's on you. I'm here. I wasn't allowed to speak. Jim Athens showed up. He didn't even have any votes. Ebby Lynch showed up running for lieutenant governor. She's downstairs doing what she's doing. She wasn't allowed to speak. David Serpa got to speak because they changed the rules again, and the Hilton camp was silent while the Bianco camp cheered him on. The Bianco camp cheering on a socialist who felt more akin to those he was shooting than to the, quote, degenerates and derelicts giving him the orders to fire on the enemy, unquote. Wow. So Chad Bianco was moving from being an amnesty sheriff to being an amnesty / socialist / nationalist / white nationalist sheriff? Whew. Too many things to keep track of. That's going to bite you in the ass somewhere down the road, mark my words. And tomorrow, listening to the delegates, some of them are very irritated with Donald Trump's choice of who he endorsed. Oh, by the way, Steve Hilton was endorsed by Donald Trump. You should know that. Now that we're past that, yeah, they're not happy with that pick. They're kind of figuring out or trying to figure out what the hell it's all about. Delegates have two main questions, and more than one option, obviously. But two main questions start tomorrow's voting process as they wheel their way through the amount of candidates and the votes that they've collected. Do we side with President Trump, coronate Lord Hilton, and remove 25% of MAGA voters from the voting pool? Or do we say, fuck President Trump and go with Mr. Bianco, the kneeler of BLM that wants amnesty, and pick up the wrath of the national level Republican Party against California? You're basically causing a rebellion if you go with Bianco. And you're basically giving lordship to Mr. Hilton if you side with Trump. Going to be interesting how you celebrate 250 years of defeating the British under those conditions. The other choice is no vote, no endorsement. That's the safest. The only people you'll piss off, Hilton. People you'll agitate, Bianco. Other people won't care one way or the other. They'll be irritated. That's about it. It's gonna come down to an interesting voting process tomorrow. Pause. There he goes. A gentleman with a drink in his hand. He not 4 shades to a win, but he's well on his way. So yeah, that's the problem that they face tomorrow. Some of these people are going to enjoy themselves tonight, and then they're going to have to figure out where they're going to cast their ballots and what course they're going to set California on. I've met who I can met, talked to who I was able to talk to, that were willing to listen, that wanted to listen. Maybe made some impacts, maybe didn't make some impacts. Definitely changed a few minds, changed a few individuals. Will it matter in the end? I have no idea. Kim Eater was here today. Yeah, she was here. Didn't know that you were still in the race. Still in the race? Please. My name's on the ballot. Look forward for your vote in November. Some other young entrepreneuring lady. Well, you need to drop because you're going to split the vote. No, the no party preference people are doing just fine in that endeavor. Maybe we should ask them to leave. Or how about the first two that are here, they can leave, and then I won't have that problem. But if you're still on that argument about splitting a vote, you're really doofus, because no matter what happens to the person, their name is already on the ballot. Too late. Well, Leo, who will it be? Who are we going to coalesce in November with? You haven't even gotten past the primary and you're thinking about November. This is April and you're worried about November. Wow. In 2023, you didn't even worry about this freaking election. In 2024, you didn't worry about this freaking election. Near half of 2025, you didn't worry about this freaking election. And the rest of 2025, you still didn't worry about this election because you were bitching and whining and crying about Prop 50. Now, in January of 2026, February of 2026 is when you finally figured out you need to worry about this election? Right before a primary? So you had 1 month to vet out your candidates? Oh, some people are finding some really ugly stuff about our two candidates. The surrogates, the so-called influencers, Mike Netter types, he was here. Kira Davis, I think, she was here. Amy of San Diego, there's at least 3 of the top ones that make a lot of noise on the internet, online, on the X platform. All pro-Hilton. No matter what, pro-Hilton, Hilton. Those are propagandists, they're not influencers. They were here spreading the propaganda. Steve Hilton's the next man. I'm glad you think so. Because if you were from California and you knew California right now, there's a lot of Democrats that would blow up their house before they promote anything pro-Trump. You just saw that in the No Kings rally. And I know you people are not that stupid, even though you're portraying that you are. But that's what happens when you're bought and paid for. Elizabeth Barkahana was here. Had the chance to meet her, haven't really done that yet. Could have approached her. She's got an entourage, too important. Got a speaking engagement here tonight. Boo, boo, boo. Okay. She'll be shrilling it up very soon. I think she said to somebody she's already cast her lot. Steve Hilton. I'm just enjoying the hell out of myself because to me it is funny to no end what these people are doing, how they've sold out their souls, and they're just, it doesn't matter. They're here to party and have a good time. But the consequences of failure, no matter how evident, are just over their head. Till Saturday is going to be the day. Ooh, it's going to be the day. Somebody's going to be upset. If Steve Hilton does not get that nomination, he's going to be upset. You won't see it right away, but watch for the signs. Carl DeMaio was not here this weekend celebrating with his boy on his endorsement from President Trump. Why not? He's floated around most other times. I would think this is a very special event. You would have cleared your calendar to be here for Mr. DeMaio's purposes, but he's not here. Carl DeMaio hasn't said anything online publicly helping Steve Hilton with his new endorsement. What's wrong with Carl DeMaio? Did he get sick? Is he absent? Is he being pressed? No, Carl DeMaio knows what that endorsement means. And he's not happy with that knowledge, to me, because why else wouldn't he be celebrating with his bestest buddy or Hilton's friend? That's what friends do, right? Support each other. Your friend gets good news, you share in your friend's good news, and you put it out there for the world to know, especially in the world of politics. Hey, come on now. Where you at? Tangipa's here. He's endorsed Hilton. Is that the surrogate of DeMaio? Let's throw him a stone. So that's what's not happened. Assemblyman Tangipa is here. He's endorsed Steve Hilton. Where's Carl DeMaio? They're probably friends too. I don't know if they're that close. Not as close as Steve Hilton keeps talking about DeMaio. Steve's going to be irritated if he doesn't get that endorsement tomorrow. Watch. Chad, who cares one way or the other? According to his recent podcast, who cares? He would have liked to have gotten it. Of course he would have liked to have gotten it, but he didn't get it, so his campaign moves on. Yeah, but Chad Bianco, you didn't get endorsed by the President of the United States of America. That's 5 slaps in the face you've picked up from the Republican Party. Hell, I thought I was a glutton for punishment. You must be a masochist. Kick to the curb for Mel Gibson. Kick to the curb for James Woods. Kick to the curb for Steve Hilton. Kick to the curb by the GOP here to a degree. But we'll pull that one back. Kick to the curb because President Trump gave Hilton the endorsement. 4. You don't get endorsed tomorrow, that's going to be 5. Will you drop out? Doubtful. I already laid out those reasons why in a previous video. You can't. The party doesn't want you to. You can't afford to. And I will just chomp at the bit knowing that I beat you in this race if you quit. Because that's what happens when you leave the field. You quit. I don't care if I get crushed in an election or not. My name's still on the ballot. But if you pull, your name will still be on the ballot, but you would have pulled. So I don't see you doing that. Hey, I could be wrong. Weirder things have happened. If neither one of you get the endorsement, Chad will just take it on the chin and keep on moving. It won't really matter to him. As a matter of fact, I think he'll be happy not getting the endorsement as opposed to being rejected from not getting the endorsement. Hilton will be truly unhappy if he does not get the endorsement, and he'll be halfway irritated and upset if they say we can't endorse because, insert excuse, no endorsement is going to be the vote. Bottom line for Steve-O, he's going to be pissed either way. May is when the mail-in ballots process starts. June is the election time. There's a lot of things happening between now and then. Hell, there's a lot of things that have happened since this past weekend. Steve Hilton begged for an endorsement on Saturday, got it on Sunday, and lost his damn mind with it on Monday. Here we are a week later. News coming up with reports. Eric Swalwell has suspended his campaign finance raising abilities. 2 or 3 steps away from terminating his campaign. Demos are frying him. That's fine. Who's next? Katie Porter. But establishment Democrats do not like Katie Porter, even though she's in the lead. That leaves Steyer and Mahan. Well, Mahan's too far down the ropes. Yeah, but the progressives like him because he's Newsom-esque. Looks like the Gino, acts like the Gino, talks like the Gino. He's just a younger version of the moron that we have in there now called Gino Gavin Newsom. Steyer, he could have put himself behind some of this. I mean, he's a billionaire. You never know. Soros, hey, you never know either. But we're about to find out in a very short period of time because the Democrats are still, unless they are hiding something, showing that they don't know who they have for their top candidate. Keep listening to Carl DeMille. We're only going to get one in the primary. And then they're faced in the general election. Conventional wisdom is who's going to support who. The call will be for Republicans to stand by your man. But that call went out in 2022, and 51% of the voters didn't vote. And only 16% voted for Brian Dahle. You think that was a low voter turnout? 5 million Republicans in California. They didn't vote 5 million strong in the 2022 election. What the hell happened? Hell, you barely got 1.2 to vote in order to put Dahle into the primary win column. Election ID, election integrity. You got a sheriff there that's all about amnesty. You're worried about election ID, showing a picture ID to vote? Please. What's that going to do? Make you feel good? Okay. Spin around? Okay. Doesn't mean a whole lot of anything to anybody. But if it makes you feel good, more power to you. And now, we're getting ready to call it a day. Call it a night, watch some TV, figure out what we're going to do tomorrow, when we're going to leave, may or may not. And we'll take it from there. There's 3 aircraft carriers in the docks here at the shipyards in port. We might try and stop by and visit those, but who knows? We'll see. It'll be an interesting day. I look forward to it. I want to see what the excuses these people give on what they do and how they do it. I can hardly wait. And the nonsense that comes out of this, I can hardly wait for that too. Because right now, just looking at what I do see, very pathetic. It's nearly comical if it wasn't so impactful. People really don't know, and they should. A lot of people here have not seen Hilton or Bianco at the Danville/Pat Nixon Yorba Linda forums where I've attended, or they wouldn't be thinking what they think right now. But the Lord put man in high places, and the Lord removes them just as fast. But I want you to think about this. The next time somebody tells you or suggests to you or mention, you're never going to get two people in the primaries that are Republicans because the Democrats wouldn't allow it. I want you to look that person straight in the face and tell them how effed up that mentality is. Because if that is true, why are we bothering to go through this process? Since the Democrats seem to control who can get in and who can't. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of, especially coming out of the mouth of a Republican, Mr. DeMaio. You've automatically admitted by saying that with conviction, that they control all aspects of voting. This is a sham. We're lucky to have somebody there that they allow, not us, the voters. And then the party plays along with it by taking what the Democrats want, pretending that you have an option, and they put the candidate that they picked, pre-selected by the demos, to win or lose. Maybe I should take the suggestion that some people are giving me, run for assembly so I can be just as dumb in that legislative body, make noise, have a few moments on camera, prioritize naming stretches of highway, bridges, and overpasses for fallen individuals instead of trying to fix problems in this state. Because it looks like, using the Carl DeMaio theory of relativity, that's the only thing Republicans are allowed to do in the assembly, is to pick and choose the name for a freeway. The Democrats control everything else. But don't worry about it. We're going to break the monopoly. We're going to get at least 7 people in the assembly to break the stranglehold of the demo supermajority. And do what? They're still going to be the majority party. Instead of having 60 votes, now they'll have 55 votes. And you will still be the party of irrelevancy. Math don't add up, folks. Math don't add up. Don't forget, though, Steve Hilton was endorsed by President Trump. I want you to remember that. Oh my God, I'm sorry, that's so funny for me. And I have to confirm this rumor. I'm not really sure, but it seems that Gloria Romero did not speak at the convention today. I don't think that was true, though, because all the people that made 200 votes were allowed to talk. Excuse me. I don't think she did, as I'm being told. But I'll find out tomorrow. We'll see one way or the other. Not that I really wanted to hear anything she had to say, because she's already said it as the assemblywoman when she was a Democrat. So you've already crapped in the church. Now you're trying to explain how you're going to clean it up after the fact? Steve Hilton putting Democrats on his team that are relatives of the governor of North Virginia here in California. Oh boy, that was an interesting piece of information to stumble across on the net. Ooh. That should make a lot of people leery about his intentions for our state. And remember, Steve Hilton was endorsed by President Trump. If you knew what that meant in California, you wouldn't be plastering it everywhere like you're doing, much less throwing it in people's face as if that's supposed to do something for them. You've been here 5 years, Steve. You haven't learned anything, have you? Probably figured out how to plunder and how not to get caught, and that's about all I can see. But you haven't learned anything from California or Californians. I love it. It gets better every day. This is no different. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Leo Naranjo IV. I've had the conversational pieces with some people here, and they've asked me a few questions. By the time they were done, they seemed to be shocked. Will I actually get their votes? I have no idea. People tell you anything here. But if I did, that's impressive as hell. And if they expand that and put it out there in the world, they'll be even more impressive. Because I'm not here with plans, promises, or guarantees. I'm here with fixes, solutions, and resolutions to problems. God bless y'all. You have a safe, enjoyable evening. San Diego, the weather is fine and a little crispy. And in Sacramento, I hear you guys are getting crapped on with rain, hail, and wind. Feel for you. God bless you. Take care. We'll see you shortly. Bye-bye.